On this episode, we break down the Pro Bowl play-by-play in the most excruciating detail, and we take a look back at some of the finest episodes this season, and we finally get to that future announcement I know we've all been waiting for. All that and more. Enjoy the show. Grossi Posse Packer Nation, welcome to the final episode of Packast this season, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I am your host, Tom Grossi, and this is another episode of Packast, which you may be so lucky that right now you are viewing this in a different medium, because right now we are live, we are filming, and this is going up on YouTube, unless it's terrible and I look hideous, and then we're cutting it all. But I hope we're doing a fantastic day. I do. I hope we're having a fantastic day. I know everybody's really excited. All everyone's been talking about is, Tom, when are you going to talk about the Pro Bowl, man? The Pro Bowl is everybody's favorite game. Everybody wants to talk about the Pro Bowl. Well, here I am to provide you a play-by-play analysis on every single minute on which happened with the Pro Bowl. And here we go. We're going to start right now. Well, on the first drive, no one cared. No one cared even a little bit. I will never talk about the Pro Bowl on this show. Ever. Done. Rip it out. It's gone. Garbage. Gone. That Pro Bowl was awful. We'll talk about it for a split second on essentially the Hug Bowl. And they kept interviewing people over and over again. Like, they kept talking to Jerry Rice, and you could just see that there was no soul behind his eyes when, they were asking, what's the biggest difference between today's Pro Bowl and when you played? And he goes, well, they actually hit each other in the last one. Like, you could see that parts of his, internal being was dying. It was a terrible, terrible, terrible game. And I understand that, this is, for fun and stuff like that, but even the announcers and the commentators, I think they even realized at some point, they were like, this is just not good. This is just not good programming. And they are 100% right. I had our buddy Max, who, if you've been a long-time Packast fan, it was from the very first episode, our Patriots fan, he texted me, he's like, hey, want to do a $10 bet on the Pro Bowl? I got Team Rice. And I'm texting him, I'm playing Madden. I wasn't even watching the Pro Bowl because I really could not care. And I was like, no, there's no way I'm betting on the Pro Bowl. And he's like, come on, man. And I was like, all right, fine. I bet $10 on Team Irvin, and it was the easiest $10 I ever made. I think I watched maybe 2 drives of that entire terrible thing that you called a game. But regardless, our show today is going to be a lot of fun. There's a reason why we're filming. There's a reason why you got the man cave in the back, just in case you've never seen it before, which you probably haven't unless you've been inside my house. And if you have, please never come back again. That's an invasion of privacy. I don't appreciate that. So don't do that ever again. But look, I'm sorry for those who are listening via SoundCloud or iTunes. You can't really look. But the people who are checking this out on YouTube right now, boom, boom, boom. Look at that. We got lots of Packer memorabilia in the back. I told you in the very beginning of the year, maybe we would do a tour of the man cave. I forgot. So that's the reason why this hasn't happened until now. But eventually we're going to get to that. So before we really get into anything, when we get into we're going to count down the top 5 episodes this season. And really, this has just been a truly phenomenal undertaking and a phenomenal season. I have had so much fun doing this show. We got at the beginning, it was a little shaky. I didn't know how it was going to kind of be received. There's a million football podcasts out there. There are a million podcasts in general. Everybody and their mother has one. And I decided to sit down and do a Packer one because it was something I love to talk about. And I got such a great reception last year when I did the reaction video after the NFC Championship game that it was something I wanted to take a shot at. And, from being invited to Lambeau Field in the very beginning of the season, to come and do it at their new restaurant was an incredible feeling, and I didn't think it could be topped. But I'm here to tell you that it will be topped this upcoming season premiere, which I'm very excited to share with you. But we gotta wait till the end. We gotta wait till the end. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to each and every one of you. If you've ever been on this show or communicating with Twitter or Facebook or what have you, it's been phenomenal getting to know all of you. Thank you for following us. Thank you for liking us. It's an absolute pleasure. Now here's the thing. Like I made this podcast and I really had my expectations were down low. I mean real low. And I mean, I'm blown away by I looked up the numbers today. I'm a guy who really, I'm happy when I see large numbers. Of course, who wouldn't be? But I mean, if there's an episode where 5 people listen, I'm happy. I'm honestly happy because, if people are actually listening, they're enjoying it. I've heard nothing but great things. I think the biggest problem we had this season was the background music. That was like the only divisive problem that we had all year. Some people said it was too loud, some people said it was just right, so I lowered it just a tiny bit, and I haven't heard a complaint since, except people are loving the show. And so again, thank you for all of your feedback. I greatly appreciate it. So we do SoundCloud, we do iTunes, the numbers have been great. We have some really, really popular episodes on there. And SoundCloud alone, we have over 3,500 views this season. And I want to just break down, because I found this so interesting. I want to break down the top 10 places where people are listening from. And it's the United States, of course. I mean, the U.S. is number 1. I mean, not in like life expectancy or mathematics or reading, but in Packast listeners, the U.S., where it matters, is number 1. Then you got Canada, our friends from the north, the Netherlands. People in the Netherlands, if you're listening right now, I love you, and I love the fact that you love us. This is great. I love you. Thank you, I guess. Then we have the United Kingdom. Harry Potter, big fan. Germany, Australia, Mexico, Bulgaria, and Sweden. Those are the top 10 places that are listening to this podcast. Damn, I don't know what to say to that. I would be like, all right, maybe like a guy is going to listen to it in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and my mom, maybe if she gets around to it. You guys have blown me away. Absolutely blown me away with just listening to this show, listening to me rambling on. And I think I have very little to do with it. I think the guests that we've brought on here have all been absolutely phenomenal. It was incredibly difficult picking just 5 episodes to really showcase here on this show. And it's been a wild, wild ride. It's something that I truly enjoy doing every single day, even though it's only a twice-a-week podcast. But the editing, the recording, the grinding, staying up extremely late to get these out has all been worth it, by far. And I know I've been alluding to it for weeks, but the best is yet to come. It really is. I mean, this was the first season. We worked out some kinks. And I am so beyond excited for what we have in the future. But let's get to why we're here right now. And that is the top 5 episodes this season on Packast. And again, I worked moderately hard to figure out what kind of episodes I was going to put on here. It's kind of a mix of, was there some great football knowledge? Was it entertaining? Did it make me laugh? And it was kind of a mix of all these things to give you. And I got clips from every show, every episode, so you could check it out if you haven't checked them out yet. These are, my opinion, the 5 best we've had this year. Starting with number 5. This is episode 15. With Chargers fan Brendan. This was a hell of an episode. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing this, and there was just some great football talk. Have a listen. If I'm not mistaken, what you're telling me is that, when the Chargers lose on Sunday, the reason is going to be because of your Brett Favre jersey that's still sitting in your closet back home.
I think that's sort of my good luck charm for both teams.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll take that too. I mean, listen, we're at the point where, you know what? I'll take any hint of good luck. We'll take that. I mean, you might. I don't want to say you'll get death threats from Chargers fans, but if you just want to give your address at the end, just for P.O. Box or anything like that, I'm sure that
I might be under the fire a little bit.
And you're back. Well, welcome back to the real world, and that leads us to number 4. Number 4 is a brand new episode that we just had a couple weeks ago. Episode 40 with Troy and Dave. This is the first time that we had 3 people on the same podcast, and I have to say that this was an absolute hilarious episode. I had a lot of fun doing it. These guys are awesome. Check out their podcast, The Arizona Bird Watchers, and just for a taste of how much fun we had, take a listen. You get the stories. It's like, well, my dad was a fan, so now I'm a fan, but that that's gold right there.
Yeah, right, because I went to a game and I wasn't even sold. I went to a game as like a 5 or 6-year-old and wasn't even sold about the Cardinals. All their fans were chanting, I don't know what the bleep it out, but all the fans were chanting bullshit.
Yeah.
In the crowd, and I wasn't a big fan of it. So as a 5 or 6-year-old, I knew that was a bad word. So I didn't really jive with the Cardinals until Jake the Snake Plumber came down to my hometown of Casa Grande, Arizona.
I can just imagine 5 or 6. These guys are bad. No, they're saying bad words over here. This is not a good team to root for.
Yeah. What are their morals? I gotta go home.
Yeah, exactly. For a long time when I was 7 or 8, I really had some existential questions of are the Cardinals good people? And once I realized that their morality was on my level, I was like, all right. And then Jake the Snake came in, and I was like, all right, now we're aboard. Now we're aboard this gravy train.
That was the last time needed. Right.
And number 3. Well, I kind of cheated a little bit with this one. Number 3, it all started at the beginning. Episode number 1 coming live from Lambeau Field. We had Max, our Patriots fan, on standby, coming from 1919 Kitchen and Tap. Phenomenal start to this podcast. And it's where this all began. Take a listen.
So
people are really nice here, scary nice.
Scary nice.
They make eye contact with you, which is already a number 1 no-no in New York City. If you have been to New York City, you don't make eye contact with anybody.
Yeah, people are saying hello to me, and I'm immediately grabbing my pockets
to
make sure
what do you
somebody's not
want?
going to pickpocket me from behind or something.
Yeah. Man, don't I sound young? That's when I was engaged and not married. Lots of things have happened on this podcast, but that brings me to number 2. Number 2 is episode 25. And that is... Here, let me give you the background about this guy. This is a Vikings episode. So this was my first run-in with a Vikings fan on this show. I didn't know how it'd be received. I put out the message on a Vikings subreddit. I get a ton of messages from Vikings fans asking to be on the show. All of them kind of saying, I've been a fan for X amount of years, love to come on the show, I've listened to it, I love it so much, I hate you, the usual stuff. This guy was the only one who came on and said, flat out in his email, he made fun of the Packers, he made fun of me, and I was like, you know what, I gotta have this guy on the show. So episode 25 is Mr. Gregory Daniels. Greg, if you're watching right now, I still hate you, and we do need to get that drink together, but he is coming in at number 2. Just take a listen. It's a phenomenal episode. I don't hate them to the degree, but I know a lot of people who do not like the Patriots.
I've never met a more front-running fan base and that's me talking to a Packer fan.
Yeah.
Saying that.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Whoa!
And here I am. I'm talking to a Packer fan.
Since 7 years old, I have been almost 20 years. I've been a fan of this team.
Okay, so you're the one.
I'm the one. Okay. All right. You know what? And here's the problem. If this was last week, I'd be ripping you a new one going, our fan base is the most loyal sons of bitches you'll ever met.
No, man.
But they booed the Packers at halftime. So
a couple losing seasons, and those seats will be empty.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
You won't even have a
Lambeau Field will always be full. No. It will always be full.
Man.
Always.
Couple losing seasons, and those bleachers, those ugly high school bleachers y'all have, are going to be just peppered with empty seats.
Aren't you playing in the back of a high school right now? And you're calling our thing ugly. You're playing at a high school, or it's a community college. It's one or the other.
First of all, it's a university.
Oh,
right?
it's a community
university.
college. It's like
It's
the
a
University of
fine-
Phoenix.
Fine university with one of the best medical schools in the world.
It's DeVry
buddy, all right?
University. It's an online school where they literally
Right.
just like set up a parking lot and we're like, okay, we'll have a few games here. And that brings us to the moment we've all been waiting for. The number one, voted on by myself and essentially all of you. This is our highest rated episode. It blew up SoundCloud. It blew up iTunes, blew up Twitter, blew up Reddit. This was really an episode where I took a step back and was like, damn, this could be something really good. This was episode 19 with our good friend Brandon Perna of That's Good Broncos and That's Good Sports. He absolutely hysterical. I remember posting on the Broncos subreddit, and people weren't even applying for themselves. They said, you need to interview this guy. And I went on Twitter and was like, okay, apparently this guy, you're the guy to talk to. And he's like, yes, I am. And we just went off for almost an hour and a half talking about absolutely everything Broncos and Packers and everything in between. This was a hell of a lot of fun. Brandon, I do wish you luck in the Super Bowl when the Broncos are playing, but take a listen to this fantastic episode.
If I have one bit of superstitious advice for you,
Oh,
it's if you get to the Super Bowl, do not get cocky
no.
a week or two
No!
before.
That's the worst thing you could possibly do.
I made that mistake.
So
I
you
did
lost
a
the
whole,
Super Bowl.
Parody music video talking shit about the Seahawks.
Oh,
And I was good about it all season.
you
to-
broke
to
the
not say
golden
anything.
rule.
I broke the rule.
How?
So
What? You can't ever. You don't get cocky, kid. Just because you shoot down one TIE fighter doesn't mean
know.
that you're gonna.
I wanted to capitalize on those views, man. I was thinking, I need to get some content up.
Yeah, you're just
Talk
like,
some
I'm gonna
shit.
capitalize.
People are gonna watch it. I'll make an extra $17 this month. It'll be sweet.
I'm going to Chipotle this month, and you're damn right I'm gonna order a bowl, and it's gonna.
I'm going 3 times.
And there you have it. That's what it is. Those are our top 5. So if this is the first time you're ever watching, take a look back. I have a list right now for you to go in, take a look. There's just great people, great guests, and a hell of a time. It really is. And that brings me to our announcement. This is something that, I still really can't believe is going to happen. But in August, for training camp, I will be returning to Lambeau Field, which is great. I'm super excited to do that. I've gone for the past 2 years now to training camp, and it's a blast every single time. But the really exciting thing is, on our first show in August, on our second season premiere, Mark Murphy, who is the president and CEO of the Green Bay Packers, is going to be on this show. That is something I've been holding in for quite some time. We need to work out the final date and scheduling, but I am beyond ecstatic for this. This is going to put Packast on a whole new level that I personally cannot wait for. And in addition, when we get a little bit closer, so talking about in July and things like that, I'm going to be on Twitter, I'm going to be on Facebook, I'm going to be on the Packers subreddit, asking for fan questions, because I'll take fan questions and I'll ask Mark Murphy your fan questions. And I am so beyond excited to talk to him. I've met him once before. I actually, you can't see it, it's out of the frame, but I actually have his autograph because he was the first guy when I went 2 years ago to training camp to actually sign my little mini helmet. Nicest guy. And I'm so excited to talk with him about a team that you probably love, or if you don't love the Packers, I'm sorry. Like I said, it does help. It does help being a Packers fan. But this is that's the future, guys. We're gonna be doing a lot of things. I think we're gonna definitely be incorporating some more video components just like this. If you enjoy it and if you like it, let me know. We'll be doing some more videos thing. I will do that tour of the man cave. I know people have been asking for it, and I promise I will do it when I get around to it. We'll definitely be doing that, and I'm super excited for season 2. I really am. In addition, I'll probably swing back for a bonus episode sometime after the draft, maybe just to kind of pop in, see if there's anything going on, and then pop back out and disappear again for a few months. But I won't be taking off regardless. There's going to be some new projects coming out. So please stay tuned for that. If you missed this mug, or if you're not watching this voice, if somehow you missed this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that's the case. But regardless, that brings me to our plugs, our final plugs of the season. You could always find me on TomGrossiComedy.com. That's TomGrossi Comedy. Or at Tom Grossi Comedy on Twitter, or just Tom Grossi on Facebook. And of course, this beautiful, beautiful thing we call a Packast, Packast. We're on SoundCloud, we're on iTunes, and now we got 2 episodes up on YouTube, because why not? Why not? But guys, it has been a phenomenal first season. Thank you so much for listening, whether this is your first episode or your 43rd episode. Thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for listening to me rant. You have been an absolute pleasure to entertain, and I can't wait for what we have in the future. Guys, this is Packast. I'm Tom Grossi, and as always, go Pack Go.